So we are live at Arena Players. We got two Baltimore legends, theater, comedy coming together to create some magic. Can y'all brothers introduce yourselves?
All right, I'm Joshua Dixon.
Hmm.
I'm Larry Lancaster.
So what are we doing here? What are we,
Well,
foolishness are we getting into?
Nate. Arena Players and myself have conjured up
Oh shit.
right.
It is
Conjured up
work with y'all.
a night after work for people to come and have great food and experience top-notch comedy. Um, we're back. Uh, this is the Arena Players stand-up comedy series, stand-up comedy Wednesday. That will be happening every month, every Wednesday, every first or fourth Wednesday of the month. Our first show is October the 9th, and we're highlighting African American restaurants and food trucks uh, that every month. The first month, October 9th, our highlight restaurant is Bertha Soulfood
Mm.
Grill and Bar, Bel Air Road.
Owned by my childhood friend.
Baby.
What's up, baby?
Shout out to Baby. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, proud of you, Black man.
And he will be here selling some of his most popular dishes from Bertha Soul Food Bar and Grill. And so basically, the comedy shows have halted for a while. One due to the death of Rodney Orange, who was our late great managing director here, who implemented the comedy shows in the early '90s. During the time of the come up of Comic View and Def Comedy Jam, Arena Players uh, was that for Baltimore. And so some of the names that you see today on your TV screen stopped through here in their early career, um, tear down the stage. And so what we're doing now is we're bringing that feeling back on Wednesdays. This is a series that has been implemented into the new Arena Players uh, season moving forward. So after renovation, we will pick back up with the stand-up comedy Wednesday. Um, we don't know. I don't know quite yet when the renovation will be. I know. I'm thinking what I was told was I want to say March or April of next year. And so I think our last comedy show before the renovation will probably be in February, that first of March.
Okay.
Then we're shut down. But we just wanted to get it out so that we can get it started, get people back familiar with how we do stand-up comedy here.
So what? And Larry.
Well, I'm excited to be a part of this because the Arena Players has a historical significance. And so I've always been proud of that. One of my favorite places to perform. And I started doing comedy early in my career.
Mm.
And so to come back at this stage of the game and be kind of like the house host, I'm really excited about that because the energy in this place is the crowd is right up on you, let you know if they love you, and let you know if they don't. And I always like that because it's the first full art. Also, with the renovations, so we're gonna have a nicer look. It's gonna be sexy. This is gonna be the place to be, man. Every Wednesday night, grown, sexy, black owned, black supported, and I hear a lot of people talk about no quality entertainment in the city. Well, you have. If you don't support it, it won't be able to sustain itself. So we can provide you with all the best comics. We can provide you with a beautiful venue, but it's nothing without you guys. So you got to come and show you.
Can you both discuss the comedy scene here? People don't realize it, and we don't get as much as say DC or maybe Philly. But can you describe the comedy scene here in Baltimore and where it is now?
It's a great conference.
Mhm.
There's a lot of new comics. They're very independent. They have an entrepreneurial spirit. I like what they're doing. A lot of, of course, when I came in, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have all these different social media tools. And but what I like about the new generation is they're not waiting for someone to say you're up next. And so that's what I teach them. And I had to, recalibrate my way of doing things. Back in the day, Josh noticed you would come, you would get funny, everything was go to New York, go to California, get started sitcom, and all of that. Those days are really over. So now you have to do a lot of this work yourself. You have to do a lot of things independently. But what that also means is that you don't have to rely on gatekeepers. Because once you have gatekeepers, then you have to rely on the politics. Do this person like me? Did I rub them the wrong way? All of that kind of stuff. You don't have to worry about that. So there's a great comedy scene. You have comedy festivals now. Shout out to Ivan Martin. Shout out to
Up in Motorhouse.
Jamar. Shout out to Tyree, all the young cats that's up and doing things. And they still respect it. So I appreciate that as well.
In terms of this new age comedy where they're coming directly from, say, Instagram, not disputing them, but how do you all separate yourself from what the expectation is now for comedy? The 30-second clips versus a 30-minute or 40-minute show.
Well, the key is what you do on stage. And so it's one thing to have a certain degree of popularity or have a following, but the proof is in the pudding. Like I said earlier, it's the first art form, so you can't hide. So if you have a certain following on Instagram, but then you start venturing into stand-up comedy, and if you're not good or you're not putting in the work, eventually you're going to be exposed. So a lot of people get famous for putting in fun, and most of us get funny for famous. That's how the trajectory normally goes. But like I say, everybody has to react. Same way we have to adjust to social media. Social media people have to adjust to real life.
So we separate a lot ourselves from Maryland in general. So we have a lot of you, Monique, a lot of comics that have come out of Baltimore that have made it big and are consistently working. Who would you want? Like, who is your dream? Both of y'all. Who's your dream lineup for the stage? Projecting.
What I like about Josh is a student of the arts. And he's not so caught up on, let's bring this big name. He's bringing people that he respects. Respects their craft. He respects what they've done on stage. He's familiar with their body of work. Know these people, they know him. So we're going to call those guys who may not be household words, but they're masters of the craft. They can come in here and tear this place down.
How about you, Josh?
Yeah, that's the idea. When stand-up comedy shows started here, we didn't have, Martin Lawrence wasn't coming here. Eddie Griffin wasn't coming here. You know what I mean? So we had who we see now, J.B. Smooth. This is before he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay.
You got people like Chris Thomas. He's a staple in DC comedy, but he was also the proclaimed mayor of Rack City. Before Joe Claire did the basement thing. He was the first to bridge comedy and hip hop. People like Laughing Lenny, people like Lonnie Davis, people like Skiba. These are guys. Timmy Hall, Talon, the Two Rays, your Rob Stapletons, your Smokey, your Freddie Ricks, John Hinton, Howie Bell. See, these are names that might not ring for your commercial to the casual, but people who know comedy know those names. They
had Kevin Hart here. I did a show with Kevin Hart.
Well, I was here for Kevin Hart.
Going by Little Cat.
And he was actually featuring for Ray twice.
Okay.
When I worked with him, they had this kind of thing where they had like Baltimore, Philly versus
Okay, yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So I was on his part of the show, and he was funny then. He was real, something special.
Oh yeah. So I met Kevin Hart when I was 13. My first time meeting him, right here, right in this lobby. I'll never forget it. Brother had on a jean outfit, jean jacket, jean pants, and he had on these. I'm a shoe guy, so it always he had on some the Derek Jeter black and lime green low cut Jordan.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I love tennis. You know what I'm saying? So I know like who was this guy? You know what I mean? And what's so crazy is that the Kevin Hart that you see now is the Kevin Hart that he's been the I'm the man type. He's been that. So when I said, "Well, you like you don't know who I am," and I'm just like, "Bro, who are I? Like what?" And so he's telling me, saying this, you gonna be whatever. He's telling me this. This is before. This how this space is empty, and it's just me and him, just having a conversation. And
And he
3
always
years.
had a great energy about
Yeah, and it wasn't like
arrogant,
cocky type of thing. It was more of he was assertive of himself.
I know my
I know my gift and I know my destiny, and it was that type of thing. And 3 years later, he was
soul playing.
no because Soul Plane during that time. What I didn't know when I went back and just reviewed like whatever, he was just when I met him. He was coming off of Soul Plane because they were selling Soul Plane out on the street on but like bootlegging. They was bootlegging. But he had just came from California, and he tells this story. From he had a show. No one knew who he was or anything, but he had got this show on ABC. And right, they had this thing called the upfronts or the whatever where they show what's going to be premiering for the next season on ABC. And so Kev said that he flew the cast out and all that on his dime or whatever, and they're in the back at the curtain, ready to go out to present the show. Stage manager with headset come on and tell him, hey man, they cut it.
I remember him telling me
They cut it. And after that, he came back to Philly and started doing the groundwork of going back into stand-up comedy. And what you see now is a product of him being denied and him fighting his way back to where fighting his way to where he is now. And so it's great to see or great to even have to experience that here. But that's the type of stuff. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see comics that you've never seen before. You're going to see some comics that you have seen before that are going to rock this place. Like and I'm curating shows with local talent and talent mixing it in because some our Baltimore comics, some of them don't have the luxury to go to New York or go to Chicago or go to LA to be around and engulfed in the stand-up scene. So I said if I could bring me a veteran in every show headliner, I got Larry as the house MC. He's the headliner. He's the veteran for Baltimore. We can get these young guys in to really know and understand how the game really goes. You know what I'm saying? And just to see how the headliner prepares for his 45-minute set. See how Larry, does some of the most masterful crowd work that you're gonna. I've witnessed. Before I had children, I used to when you was free. When I was free. I used to hang with Larry a lot, and he would take me around to the different clubs and different
The private gigs.
yeah, private gigs. You know, just watching how you prepare material for a private gig, or
Right.
how you prepare material for a wine festival that's outside, where there's music playing and Negroes sipping wine.
Right.
How you don't have to always stand on stage, right? You know, sometimes depending on your knowing your audience, sometimes you might have to get on the ground and go in and go amongst the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you're right. Spread the gospel, man. But I learned that by watching him navigate those different things, navigating life
Right.
and having to do comedy in spite of a situation or situations that you're going through. You know what I'm saying? I remember a time when me and Larry were together, and something happened inside the spot, and Larry was like, "Man, forget. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing this. This is it." We're walking to the car.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? We were walking to the car.
2 o'clock club.
2 o'clock club.
Right.
We were walking to the car.
He talked me out there.
I said, Larry, come on, man. I said, man, that's what you made for. Go in there and show them Negroes who Larry. Like he said, man, them niggas know who I am. I've been doing this shit for some 20 something years. They know what type of. I said, I know, man, but there's probably new kids in there who don't even whatever. I said, man, go in there and wreck that spot. And we walked back in there, and when I tell you, the nuclear bomb that was set in that place was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
Yeah,
But
shout out
just
to
to
the
watch.
band, the voice of reason that night. And it's not even that I was wrong, but
But you had every right.
yeah.
Even if you would say, Josh, get in the car, or you stand there, you want to do the car? You know what I'm saying? It was just
Sometimes you know your value and you don't want to.
yes.
Well,
And that's what it man, and that's what it boiled down to.
It wasn't even from a physical place. It was just that I'm at a point in my life where I don't really do things that I would want to do. And so if I come to the show, it's sloppily ran. You got 20 people going up. They all doing all this time, and then I got brought to a higher audience. I'm like, you didn't need me.
And I've seen you put in the work. I remember when I first met you, we have a mutual friend, Savon.
Yeah.
And she used to bring me when you was over there at that club
Oh
in
my
the
God,
shopping center at Morgan. And I've seen you
The
work
Haven.
your way,
Shout out to the Haven. That was another historical thing.
working your way through this, and you have every right to now say that.
Yeah.
Next on my list was because we're in a theater space and theater like comedy, it is very on the job training. Will this ever branch out to some comedy workshop or
You know
improv?
what, man, Josh, we could definitely make that happen. And my wife and I actually were talking about that, and she's been saying like, "Babe, it's a workshop." I did one before a couple of years back, and it was very successful. I had like 10 students that came in, and they really soaked up the knowledge, and we had a great time connecting and bonding and sharing. But then I only did that one, and I had been meaning to go back and visit that. So that's definitely because we both have education background. Well,
And it matches
all
well to theater study. Right. In terms of navigating this new culture that we're in, where you have to watch what you're saying, you have to be mindful of the audience and who's there, in the room. How do you build comedy and write comedy for today versus before, where you could get away with almost anything?
Well, I think my motto is I don't go out of my way to offend. I also don't go out of my way not to offend. And I think comedy has to be, you have to be vulnerable as any type of art. You have to risk something. Yeah, we can all go and play it safe, but how good are you going to be? What material you putting out? You have to be true to yourself. And I think the audience will understand that as long as it's not coming from a mean place, even if you say things they may not agree with, we still can all share out and express ourselves. But people can tell what you're being. But having said that, you're going to have to get offended no matter how you do it, no matter how thoughtful you are. And you can't hold yourself to that. You got to be fearless.
is crowd work a form of comedy, or is it just a part of it? Because some people
It's a
don't
skill
write
set.
jokes, they just
It's a skill set,
mm-hmm,
but it's not something that you want to solely rely on.
mm-hmm,
It's just like it's like if you got a toolbox, right? That's
mm-hmm,
one of the tools that you have in your bag,
mm-hmm,
being able to work a crowd. Not every comic has that, and they don't have to. Some comics can go up, whatever their set is, they know they set, and it's
mm-hmm.
going to be brilliant, and that's that. But, if you have a skill set, then why not? Of course, when you host it, you want to be able to do that, but also have to journey.
Right. It just feels like we're in a space right now, and justifiably, people are finding their voice. They finding their strength and saying, "No, I don't want. I don't want that treatment." But comics have always had, just like writers, they've had that turn of events where someone got offended, or the Jewish community or this community. How are you navigating that and thinking about those things when you're writing? Either of you.
Um, you have to do what's true
Mm-hmm.
to you, right? And when you've been in it for a certain amount of time, you kind of know what will go over
Right.
and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
What I suggest for a lot of comics, especially new comics coming up, is to take acting classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this because in acting, you learn how to say something,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Tone, inflection, how you say it.
Right.
So I could call you a BITCH, but it's the way I call you a BITCH. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got comics of the day use bit throughout their entire set, and it's hilarious. Then you got comics who use it not as much, and it's cringeworthy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's not they have not figured out the tone and inflection and how to grab.
That heartbeat can start a brawl.
It can start a brawl, and it can also start a friendship. Where after the show, we like, you got women coming, you talking about, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all in the context of the joke, right? And no one, even if what I'm saying is offensive, if it's my story, if it's mine, if it happened to me,
Right.
I can care less what you
Yeah.
think. So in navigating around, I think that stifles artists' creativity in trying to figure out how to navigate. Let me just put it out. And if it lands, it lands. If it don't, it don't. Now, if it don't land, I know not to do that joke no more.
Right.
But at least I got it out
Mm-hmm.
and saw the reaction that I got. It's all a give and take, cause and effect kind of thing.
And trial and error.
Trial and error.
Tell comics that too. A lot of comics will call me for advice and say, run something past me. And I'm like, stop waiting for it to be perfect. Say it out loud. And then make the adjustments as you go. Right. You seldom start with a perfect joke.
Right.
Joke is never going to be perfect when you first think of it. You have to work it out. You have to say it. You have to get those reps in. And so for me, how I navigate it is I never say anything that I can't justify. So if anybody wants to have a conversation about anything I say on stage, I can have a conversation, a sensible, civilized, logical conversation, and we can discuss. And so just want to be able to explain and justify what you're saying, not just go up there and say a bunch of shit and offend.
I've never heard someone say that specifically a comic because that makes more sense. Because I think the problem has been is a lot of novice or people who haven't studied the craft but getting them there doing it, and they're just saying whatever to be funny,
Right.
versus thinking about it before and just delivering on that. And that's why I like the idea of bridging the two of you who are very much so theater and comedy, but comedy and bringing that together so you learn technique.
Yeah.
Versus simply how to tell a joke, because it's a lot of nuance in that, and there's a lot of preparation that has to go into it.
Yeah.
And Josh made a good point, because if you look at a lot of the comics, not one, and also great actors. Not all of them. Take someone like Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx, even a Martin Lawrence, right? It actually makes the material way more funnier when you're able to you have a theater background, and you understand the facial expression. You understand the movement. It's not just saying words. You add movement. You make it more dimensional.
Right. How comedy has turned into the rap world, and with all these beefs coming up now, how do you navigate that? I've never heard either of you any controversy, outside of, Larry is known for his crowd work. Like he gonna notice something about that shirt and get you. But beyond that, how do you speak to these beefs that are coming up?
Well, for both of us, there's a whole lot of
But really, like you have nothing accused
Right.
So if I don't like you, don't but we got about, why is so and so? But we don't bad mouthing to other to non civilians, right? It's like that. It's just we know,
Right.
we know.
Yeah.
So, but no, we go for myself, we stay out, and you get a lot, all that, when it's talking about whatever, all that stuff into whatever, then somebody people, Big Josh was there, and he was pushing that, now somebody messaging you on Facebook, they said you was there, blah, 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 now you in the mix of common people, but this community is a community where we network and we talk, so, especially here in Baltimore.
Right. It feels like because of this new podcast and all that, people trying to stay relevant and find a place for themselves. So that's how a lot of this stuff is getting out in terms of conversation.
Messing this up. All this stuff sells it. But stuff. So still not.
Right.
That's a short term.
Yeah.
It's funny. Back to the word. Don't get so caught up in the opportunity that you
This man, come on now, come on, preacher.
Well, you know what?
That's definitely cheap. I ain't gonna laugh at that. Don't put me in no shit, Josh. Josh got your back. He got your back. But this is, I love the aspect of this happening. One, because I love theater, I love comedy, and you doing it here at Arena Players. Why bring it back? I know, Orange leaving definitely left a spot and a vacancy in this space, but why bring it back?
It's time.
It's time.
It's been gone too long, and people have been asking when the Playhouse going to start doing them comedy shows again. And so, and it was a big part of revenue here. Especially times when there weren't shows going on. The comedy show covered, the lights, the phone, you know what I mean? So,
and it's way easier to do a comedy show than a play. Play, you got set, you gotta have multiple actors, you gotta have production, you gotta have all of that kind of stuff, and it takes time. You gotta purge, you gotta write lines, you gotta script, But with comedy, You know,
You
you
can just
just
insert it.
right, put
you
a
know.
mic up there, and some idiot who thinks he got something important. Yeah,
You got it.
Speaking of amateurs, will there be an amateur portion to this night?
So not necessarily an amateur portion, but other than the first couple of shows, um, there will be a local comedian for the opener.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, the opener or feature will be a strong comic from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this so that we're clear. Um, this is not a workout room. Say that again.
Tell them what it means, because someone may not
So-
even understand what that means.
So this is not a workout room. This is not a room where you hit me and say, "Yo, we in there," and then you bring 7 comics down, and y'all think that y'all about to get 3 minutes or 5 minutes apiece on the stage or whatever. First off, that ain't how it goes in comedy. Period.
Mm-hmm.
One, the headline has to approve anybody that's not on that list
Mm-hmm.
to perform to go on.
Right.
Right? This is not an open mic. This is a show. These are shows. This is bring your A game,
Okay.
bring your material. If your strong suit is crowd work, that's what you're known for. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? But we are only picking the strongest because there has to be some type of there's a structure, but in comedy there's a build, right? So you have the host who curates that entire night, right? You have your opener, who is a person who don't really know too much. Many people know, but they are the ones that get it. They get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that start this thing off of how the night is going to progress, right? And so you see from the opener to the feature, that's your more established comedian. And then we top it off with the headliner, who you know is your more national known in the world of comedy. Um, and they go up and they bring the night, you know, full circle. And so it starts at a level, and then by the time we get to the headliner, it the wall should be shaking.
and that's how you put on a good quality show. And a lot of people, the comic, they don't understand the difference between a show and a room.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy. When you have a comedy night where you have a room, that's a little bit more informal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have people come through, they want to try to test out the material, what have you. If you got a show, people are paying a certain premium price.
Right.
So they don't pay for people trying shit out. You know, or you're still trying to figure it out, or you haven't learned how to be consistent and funny yet. That's what the open mics are for. That's what the rooms are. You do a show. The show has a certain time limit, has a certain time frame, and you have a certain amount of things to do within that time.
Okay.
And also, like you said, you got a headline. You got to follow up. So, comedy is laughter is a strenuous, involuntary activity. At some point, no matter how funny the night is, people get tired.
You get tired.
So if I got 20 people, y'all going up doing 15, 20 minutes, by the time the headline comes, he gonna pull out his testicles to get a laugh.
Yeah.
You know, or even just to get a reaction. You shouldn't have to put the headline shouldn't have to go.
Yeah.
Everything should be set up for everybody to win. And
So that's how we curated the comedians. Is we are very strategic in this planning. Me and Larry both put together.
And let me say this too, because I had this conversation with a comic host who's doing too much time. I was the headline, and I told him, "Hey man, stop. Why are you doing all this time?" He said to me, You do a lot of time when you're doing your urban. Say, yeah, but
Mm,
this is a show. Don't do a show the same way you do a room.
right.
If I got a weekly room that I'm doing that week, sometimes them people might only come to see me.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So I have to give them something for them coming, but still not do so much that I drain the room.
And you don't want to show going
Right.
on to 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Right.
But when you're doing a show, it's different. It's a different expectation. It's a different protocol.
Hmm. Well, speaking of your shows, um, can you tell us about the 2 features or headliners that you have scheduled for the first 2 shows?
So for October 9th, we have Larry Lancaster is hosting. We have Ray Diva,
Sister,
one of the funniest female
coolest, most interesting people you ever want to meet.
And she's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
from Baltimore. Emerson Bell, Timmy Hall.
Okay.
Very, very funny brother.
I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. Like I can see Timmy 1,000 times. Like,
Oh my
he
God.
got the kind of material that you can hear 1,000 times, and every time it's funny. Yeah, very gifted guy.
Yeah. And then when we have headlining, it's who, it's so
The
crazy.
first one.
The first one. We
Mhm.
got headlining for the first opening show. And this opening show is basically Ray Diva and Timmy Hall are headline.
Okay.
But the way I wanted to structure this night is this got to be the night. This the grand opening night.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put all headliners on this show. Larry is a headliner, well, of course. But this is my gift to the people.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? To come back. This first show. Ray Diva, Timmy Hall, the headliner for that night. And this is crazy because Rodney has been trying to get him since he started. And
Really?
yeah. And he could never I don't know what the thing was, but
Remember one time filling in for him supposed to
he's supposed to be here, right? And we got him. Talent will be the headliner from New York, Mount Vernon, New York. He's been on Def Comedy Jam, Comedy View. Uh, he is is the he is probably the reigning king of New York.
Okay.
For New York underground comedy. Um, the boy is bad. The boy bad. And
I've been seeing the thing for years. Running into the same circle, same people, never shared a stage together. So it's gonna be cool to actually work.
And then the second show.
the second show, who we have locked in, we have Clarence Nixon. Nixon or Dixon?
Next,
Nixon.
and
Clarence Nixon.
that's one of my young guns that I kind of took under my wing. His brother. I thought the first time I saw him, I was like, this dude is special.
Clarence Nixon, Lonnie Day,
One of my
Okay.
both our OGs.
both our OGs. Yeah. Lonnie used to be a house
host here.
Oh, okay.
for one of for the comedy shows during the season.
So y'all just bringing it full circle.
Bring it full circle. And then the headline for that night will be none other than Joe Clay.
Joe Clay, that's
Sleazy Baby.
one of my brothers.
The headliner for that.
Went to Morgan and from BT, and he has it's like his roots from both BT and Baltimore. Having so, and shout out to Joe because he just got the afternoon drive show.
Yeah, the radio show. Yeah, the radio show. Yep.
So I love all the connections to what was and what will be. Moving forward, we already said, the type of talent you want to curate for this space. What can people expect coming in?
You can expect you can expect to have one of the best nights of your week to get you through that Thursday and Friday. Same day.
You had me at Bertha. You definitely had me at Bertha.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a meal.
The highlight of the Black restaurant is something that's special because a lot of people aren't familiar or just haven't had a chance to get across town, to get to them, or
Mhm.
just that type of thing. And so it'll be a different one every month.
Okay.
For the November show, we're working on getting Crushed by Mac. Yeah. Because and what the thought was, it's Thanksgiving, right?
Mhm.
And so you don't want to have too much. They already cook. They're gonna be cooking the next day, so it don't make quite sense to have a platter on the night before. Let's just do something nice, small, quainty, but that's delicious at the same time, and that could could fill people up. Give them a little, whatever.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
For that. And
Let's go with this. He knows me.
yeah, of course. I'm a big boy, man. I know. I gotta be thoughtful. Gotta be thoughtful.
Strategic about it.
Yeah, man.
We got his meal ready.
Because you don't want black people, they come in here like, man, they got that. We having chicken and all. We having mac and cheese and all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, let's just do something that's, small, quainty, but is delicious at the same time.
That's the meat that got a little.
You got the crab biscuit.
Okay.
Crab biscuit, the strawberry, and the joint. She got some nice stuff, man.
Where did they get tickets? Because I'm watering.
You can go online now to arenaplayers.org to get your tickets, or you can go to my Instagram page, Ayo Josh, and the ticket link is in my bio. That's either there on Instagram or on Facebook, Joshua Dixon. The link is in the bio, both of those speaks.
And it'll be in the description section of this.
Yeah. And yeah.
So what they can expect from my perspective, this is a great show.
Okay.
Beautiful black people entertaining beautiful black people. And comedy is not the ministry. So a lot of people they need to go somewhere and be able to think about whatever they So the comedy definitely adds to that. And I've had people come up to me and tell me all kinds of testimonies. Like I had a brother tell me, hey man, his father had terminal cancer. And so we drove down to Florida to see him, and he's gonna die. And he said, the time I got to watch you on stage, I didn't think about nothing. Right? I mean, when people walk up to you and tell you this type of thing, you understand that it's a responsibility. Like, yeah, this is not just about, it ain't about like, it ain't about the money. It's about how you make you feel and the type of energy that you put out.
Tell us about the because we know Josh got them plates lined up. Tell us about these suits. What you got up on the hanger, sir?
Well, I doubt I'll be wearing suits to the ring. They don't.
I don't know. Just saying.
But on a Wednesday night, that might be a bit much. But I will be very well dressed. See, that's the thing about me. I know how to do it all. You ever see some people in a suit and then they dress down and you like, yo, you can't.
You got no range, sir.
You look like a band. You ever meet them guys? They wear a suit every day and they be clean. They mask that. But then they got on some sketches. Did you see them on Saturday? Some bad jeans. Yeah, none of that. We gonna be fly. We gonna be fly.
Okay.
So,
I just
feel
wanted
like
to
when
know.
people pay to see you, you should look like. You shouldn't look like you've been running errands all day and bringing up things stage. And that doesn't mean you had to have on the damn cummerbund.
I mean, whatever you do, though. Fashion is your
people
style.
should see a certain difference.
Okay.
Like he cared about how he presented himself.
Okay. I just had to know. I wanted to know what was going to be on the hanger.
I was going to have on a $300 polo shirt.
From big and tall.
Inventory is killing
it, boy. All them 6Xs in there.
Yeah.
So what do you want to leave people with? We got a couple more seconds. So what do you want to leave people with?
Get your ticket. We're gonna have a ball. Some of the most amazing black people, and come ready to eat, come ready to laugh, and yeah, get the ticket, man. This is gonna be this is this is big. This is gonna it just come.
Right.
Come, just trust me. This is gonna be a night that you do not want to miss.
Mhm.
I say great food, great energy, and great art. What
Okay.
else do you need?
So fly. So fly.